again of Shabbos, Parshas Matos, Maasei. It's a chazak v'nis chazek. We all need chazak, especially in the 3 weeks. Matos, Maasei. It kicks off with the Nedarim, and it ends off with the Shechina being Sheira. What happens? Let's start from the end. It says that Bar Shalom says, "You're going into my land. You're going into Eretz Yisrael. Take care of it. Don't even tamei it." Because the Shechina is Sheira there, and Rashi says even when you're matame, even where there's tame, where you guys are going to generate tame being all human, the Shechina is still going to be there. Tremendous chizuk to know that the Shechina is with us in everything that the 3 weeks represents, and Golus and all the tzar of millennia. When it comes to Nedarim, the neder is chal with the shtika of the menader. If someone makes a neder and the other person is silent, then they're accepting the neder on themselves. The wife is now meshubah to whatever the neder was on her. With the shtikim hacharish tacharish, says the pasuk. Al-Sikha explains that there's a power to silence. If there's something to be said and you don't say it, you're doing the same thing as saying, I agree. Shtika kehoida. Kala is married to her husband when the chassan puts the ring on, and she doesn't say anything. She doesn't say, "Get that off of my hand." She doesn't say, "No, I'm not marrying you, you funny person. Who are you? And what am I doing in this funny dress?" No, that silence of accepting it makes her married. Rav Zelik Pliskin points out that if you hear someone say something which is inappropriate, so it's very hard to say something. But if he has the stolz of saying something wrong, shouldn't we have the stolz to say something right? We can't be silent. Silence is powerful. And you never know what you could do with saying just a few correct words. Rev Don Segal has a son, Rav Moshe Segal, who's a real businessman, and he has this full partner who's an irreligious yid from Eretz Yisrael, and they work in China, in Shanghai. There was one business trip that they had set up over there. And his partner says, "Okay, I have my flight booked. I'll get there Matzah Shabbos." He says, "What do you mean?" He says, "When's your flight?" He says, "Shabbos." He says, "So come on, you can book your flight whenever you want. Why are you picking it up and flying on Shabbos?" He says, "I'm not religious." He says, "Come on Thursday." He's like, "What am I going to do? It's 3 days early." He says, "You'll spend the Shabbos with me. Experience a Haredi Shabbos." He could have said nothing. Right? His friend isn't religious, Taka. But no. He says, "Come, you'll experience what a Shabbos is. You'll have gefilte fish and shalom and whatnot." And the guy's like, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, I'll set up at the hotel." Staka, he tells the hotel manager, and they set up a whole beautiful Shabbos for them. A whole Suda, kosher food and everything. The only problem was that the dining room was on the 17th floor. And it was a little too much to go up and down to eat. So they had the hotel set up that they would eat in the lobby. So they have two Yidden, late Friday night, sitting in the Shanghai lobby, having their Suda. The hotel manager comes over to them a little concerned, like, "What are you guys doing down here?" He says, "Everything okay? Is the air conditioning off? Is the elevator broken?" He says, "No." He says, "We're religious Jews, and we can't take an elevator on Shabbos, but we're enjoying our Shabbos with her." This guy got so excited. He says, "A Jew? From the chosen people? A Jew? I've never met a Jew before. I don't believe it. What are you guys stuck down here just because you can't get upstairs?" "I lie, I'll take care of you," whatever he says in Chinese. And he whistles, and 8 guys come running out in their butler uniform, Maasei, and each one picks up a leg of their chair, and they carry them up 17 flights for a Jew keeping his holy Shabbos. Brought up their food, and the whole Shabbos, the manager made sure that there would be transportation up and down the steps. They had 8 guys schlepping their chairs up and down the entire Shabbos. This irreligious friend calls up his wife after Shabbos and says, you can't imagine how pumped these guys were to be meeting a Jew. You know what it means to be a Jew? I didn't know what it means to be a Jew. These guys know what it means to be a Jew better than I do. Over here, I just think it's a political thing." And she says, "You know what? If you're in, I'm in. You're coming back home and we're keeping Shabbos." She says, For sure. Okay? And once the wife's on board, it's game over, So he comes in, and Rav Moshe Segal introduces him to his father, Rav Don. Rav Don Segal says, "Look, it's beautiful. You're keeping Shabbos now. I hear you're putting on tefillin, but 2 legs are not enough to hold up a table. You have to add a 3rd and a 4th leg, So he says, "What am I supposed to do?" He says, "If your wife is also in, it sounds like she's on board. You have Taras and Mishpacha, and you have to have a Rebbe." Okay, so they were living in Ranana, and there was a Rav, the Cleveland Rebbe, Zecher Tzadik Levracha. He was one of these real Mekaravim, a sweet yid, and he was introduced to them. He became Talmud. His wife became a Talmidah, and fast forward years later, he lives in Rechavia, a frum yid. He opened up a yeshiva. He's supporting koilalim. And one Shabbos, he's waiting to go up to his apartment on the 35th floor of his building in Rechavia, and he sees the elevator is broken. So as he's walking up, step by step, and schwitzing buckets, and his tzitzis are dangling, he says, Rebbeinu Shalom, as a schus, this all started with a couple of Chinamen carrying me upstairs on Shabbos to teach me what it means to be a Yid. Now I can carry myself up the steps. Just a few words, just inviting him to come for a Shabbos. He could have been quiet. Rav Moshe Segal didn't have to invite him for a Shabbos in Shanghai. What our words can do. There's a time to be quiet, and there's a time to say something. And we have to know every time. Be'ez Hashem should give us the right words and the right silences. We should be zeicher to be as good. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos.